Hello and welcome to What's So Great About the Podcast that likes the colourful clothes you wear and the way that sunlight plays upon her hair.
Go on.
My name's Terry.
Very good. Name is Andy.
Andy, how the bloody hell are you? Hey!
Very well now. And you too?
I too am well.
Great to hear it, pal.
You may have inferred from that little opening salvo.
What was that masterpiece you were saying?
Well, it's the Brian Wilson podcast this week, so I thought I'd start us off on the right foot. Of course,
Nice.
he very sadly passed away. Was it this day last week?
Yeah, it was
Thursday?
literally like we had just recorded a podcast and then it was like the next day or something
Yeah.
like that. And
He's a big guy for us.
huge.
Yeah.
It was, like, I kind of like, I don't know why.
I'm
like
glad for him, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that's what it's like. I'm kind of glad. Like his wife died last year. He had dementia. You know, like just
He's had a rough go of it.
And I mean, yeah, like you know, you just even have to hear him talking anytime after like 1972 to see that like
yeah, but
he's
even
kind of.
I watched. So we're going to be talking about like our 5 deep cut Brian Wilson tracks. I think later on. Maybe just. I watched the movie. Have you seen the movie?
I haven't. Love and Mercy.
Yeah, it's
it good?
It is good.
Just good, not great.
Yes, exactly that. Like the bits with Paul Dano are really good. Like a lot of it is basically right before he's like, I want to stop touring,
and he plays Brian Wilson.
Yeah, he's like, and he comes up with Pet Sounds.
Yeah,
and Good Vibrations, and then
I'd love to watch all that.
I was like, I wished it stayed in that part.
Yeah,
because it's jumping forward, and like John Cusack is playing older Brian Wilson.
Okay,
and he's energized, you know. He's not like
I can't imagine John Cusack would take that if he wasn't going to bring something to it.
Yeah, I mean,
you know
famously has said he's only made 10 good movies in his life.
John Cusack.
Yeah, and I think he might be being a bit hard on himself there.
He's being a bit generous.
Oh well,
Am I right, people?
Con Air.
Well, Con Air, of course. Hi.
Jesus Christ! Come on! Oh, fuck you, mother!
Well, that's obviously one.
Yeah.
You know.
I could give you 10. But anyway, and the whole thing with like Dr. Gene, you know, like Paul Giamatti playing, like it's the role he was born to play,
it really
baby.
Is. He's sort of like scuzzball.
It's like I was thinking about it. I was like, didn't he have grey hair? And I'm like, no, that's Paul Giamatti in Straight Outta Compton, where he's playing other like scuzzball to musical
always like
artists.
like the agent, the exec,
or like Howard Stern's nemesis. Like he's just plug and play. Like sure, I'll do it, no problem.
Yeah,
I'm worried about your education.
Yeah, but that's not bad.
Thank you. I've been that's Holdovers, Giamatti.
I haven't seen that one, but
I've been working on it. No, if you told me that you've seen it, we would have been talking about it.
Your head would have exploded. Hey, you know, I watched something in my spare time, Terry. The Holdovers. Have you heard of it? Have like.
It's good. The movie is good. I would love to see them do just like Pet Sounds to Smile, and maybe you know, like
give me his artistic peak.
And there's parts of it there, and like they do a good job of like when they're recording Pet Sounds, but like the whole thing of like they're doing Smile, and it's like 2 minutes, and it's like the band, the guys are taking it away from me, and they're trying to work it into something coherent. Smiley Smile.
Yeah,
and the great Bill Camp, who
all right, here we go.
He plays the father, and I'm like, what a son of a bitch.
Yeah,
like they're recording Pet
I'm
Sounds.
a genius too, Brian. Okay, here we go. All right,
you fired me. Your own father. He's like, I sold the songs. He's like, but there are songs there. He's like, what did you expect me to do? You fired me. That's not even mean. It's just like matter of fact, like and like he's that's such a square compared to the rest of them. Like the guy that's playing Mike Love, I was like, I don't like Mike Love anyway.
Nobody does.
Yeah, but, and he's not likable.
No,
but it's like the guy who's playing him, they kind of do it right in that like he's not cartoonishly villain.
Yeah,
but he's also like, is this a drug song, Brian? Druggy? let go of your ego or hang on to your ego.
Yeah.
You know, is this a drug song?
Is that why you changed it to I Know There's an Answer?
Yeah, I think so. They don't say it, but
because I heard the original Hang On to Your Ego and I liked that, and I thought, oh, it must have just got reworked by the end, but like it makes total sense because I remember him saying during the Smile, and I know we'll talk a bit more about it at the end, but he was talking about the reasons why he didn't want to continue with Smile, you know, in that documentary where they kind of redid it in 2004 or whatever, and he was talking about the reasons why he stopped doing it. It's like he was scared of Mrs. O'Leary's Cow, the song. He thought he was responsible for a fire up the road because they were rehearsing it and there was a big fire. He's like, I was afraid Mike didn't like it, and he was going through a few, and it was interesting because earlier in the documentary he was like, I was worried the guys didn't like it, and then he got real specific at the end, like I was worried Mike didn't like it, and I could tell Mike could be the one that could be probably a bit more
the rest of them were like, it's cool,
bullyish,
you
know, like
it's like it's cool, man. And he's like, no, we need to make money.
Yeah,
it's money, Brian. And the two other, like Dennis and Charlie, are kind of like, I like it, Brian, you know. And Al Jardine has like no lines. Like he's like, hey Al, good to see you. When they come back from Japan, like, good to see you. I was like, that's Al Jardine, and he's just standing over there in the corner for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
but it's decent, and I thought the Paul Dano stuff was really strong.
So we're saying Dano. It is Dano.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, I'm taking your lead.
There's no two ends, I guess. Book 'em, Dano.
I love saying Dano a lot more. I think Paul Dano takes away from him. If his name it's Paul, right?
Yes.
No, it's Terry.
Me?
I'm you.
Yeah.
If it's Paul Dano and he looks and acts like that, I think that's a little bit of an edge. If it's Dano, it kind of dilutes it a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a soft guy, though.
He's added a bit too much water to his cordial.
I'll tell you what. I'll get on to him and I'll
just say, what is it, mate? Yeah. All right.
I know there's an answer, Andy. Hey, movies. Speaking of movies,
yeah,
the only things I have to talk about this week are movies.
Yeah,
and Brian Wilson.
I got some other stuff too.
Yeah,
I've actually got some stuff.
Great. We'll get them out to my movies.
Are we talking about yesterday's movie?
Yeah. I was at the movies.
Folks, listen, you've been bamboozled if you thought I was at 28 years later, because what we fiendishly did was we dressed Terry up like me.
Didn't even ask me one question. I was like, I don't have my tickets. I don't care. Yeah. 28 years later, going in there. It's not like the fucking Bad Boys.
It wasn't packed like, to the brim.
Big, huge IMAX screen, 2 rows in the front.
What was this
Lawrence. Like? This was like half full.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So about 3/4 full.
Okay.
So
see anyone you recognise?
Met a friend of the podcast, Andy McCarroll, there.
Hey,
and they'll be
Extra Vision?
Yeah, Extra Vision.
Hey.
Go listen to that podcast, guys. It's delightful.
After you listen to ours.
If you're a movie fan like myself, Andy offers some incredible insight and great interviews.
Yeah. After you listen to it.
Had like Ludwig Göransson on his podcast there recently. The composer.
The Vig?
Yeah, the composer.
Get out of here. How did he swing that one?
I mean, he's the guy, Christopher Nolan's guy, and he just did the score for Sinners, so, you know, pipe down over there.
Gave me a great suggestion on the old, there was one of them, some sketch. The protein, the Huel protein, he pointed me onto that. So, hey, look, he's becoming a friend of the pod if he wasn't already one. Yeah. He's now a friend of both of us.
No celebrities. Absolutely. I was like, who are these guys? As I stand there, like, this is supposed to be a premiere. This bites.
Is that Terry from What's So Great About It?
No. But the movie was 28 years later.
How was it? I'm actually dying to see it. I just couldn't go.
I fucking loved it. I thought it was great.
Who did you go with again?
Friend of the podcast, Thomas.
Yeah. I don't recall us saying that was all right. I specifically said to you and your dad.
My dad's not going to come see Danny Boyle zombie movie.
No problem. Happy to do it.
Yeah,
Thomas.
To be honest, I just need from now on. I figured out I just need to know where these premieres are happening and just show up and be like,
chance your arm.
Come on in, no problem. Like, there's a script right there.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Literally, the first sound you hear in it is Teletubbies, and I was like, oh, okay. And we're back in the 90s or whatever, the early 2000s, and the outbreak happens. And it's you get the hit of like, oh, okay, this is 28 days later again.
Yeah.
And then it turns into something different in that, like, the fucking idea of it is brilliant in that it's like, oh, the virus is kind of gone in the world except for the UK. They've been quarantined there. So it's like, this is what I took from it. Like, it's Brexit.
Yeah.
Europe have said, well, fuck off. You're on your own. And in this story, it's like these guys, they live on an island off the mainland, and when the tide is low, they can walk to the mainland for supplies, forage, stuff like that.
Yeah, don't give too much away because I do want to see it.
That's the premise. And it's like, there's zombies on the mainland, there's no zombies on our island.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thrust of the movie. There's new zombies, different types of zombies.
What kind? Would it be too much of a spoiler?
Not really, but it's like...
Don't tell me.
Okay. But what I loved about it was just seeing Danny Boyle do a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to look it up now. But
so what was his last movie before?
Well, Yesterday was
his last
we
were just talking about it.
That piece of shit.
Do you know, I have a morbid fascination with that. I really want to see it. Do you know what? And everyone was shitting on seeing John Lennon as an old man.
So weird.
Do you know what? I think if I didn't have Twitter and I didn't have the internet and I was just watching it, I would be like, oh, because it kind of looks like him.
It's Robert Carlyle of all people.
It looks like him.
It was 6 years ago.
All right,
2019.
If I wasn't so cynical, the internet didn't make me so cynical.
I didn't like it when I saw it. I was like, what's this? And he takes a taxi from London to get there. It's like it.
Okay, well, and
I was like, okay, so what? £5,000.
That would be about 4 grand, mate. Yeah.
Keep the meter running. This won't be long. But I sent you a clip of the start of T2 Train Spotting.
T2.
Yeah.
So everyone was saying T2 in the comments. I'm like, Terminator 2.
T2.
What's that got to do with this?
T2 Train Spotting.
Okay.
Right.
I thought that was a clip of 28 years later, and they're all in the gym running the treadmill. And I thought, okay, one of them's going to be a zombie, and then it'll attack them. The
reason why I sent it to you is because I was like, that feeling of oh shit, it's like a fucking
shit's about to go down.
Well, it's just you're in it. It's like dun dun dun, dun, like a fucking beat drop straight away, and I was like, I'm back in the 90s when I was watching that clip again. I was like, oh, it's 1996 again.
Yeah.
Train Spotting again. It gave me all those feels, and there's nobody that can do that as well, I think, as Danny Boyle, because it happens in this movie a couple of times where it's some kind of music drop, and it brought me back to dance, rave culture, human traffic, whatever, that. And I was like, oh my god, it just hit an emotional nerve, and I was like, oh, I want to go to there. Do
you know
take
what?
Me back. And he does things
does
things with the camera where it's a zombie gets shot with an arrow, and normally it's just you see, and it's in this, it's the camera freezes, moves to the left, and then comes out, and it's I was like, it's really interesting looking at it. And Coffee was it's like a kill shot in a video game, and I was that's exactly what it is. But just the idea of he's trying shit, or do you remember the trailer?
He's interested. He's he's locked in.
But he always is. But I'm like, why haven't they let him make movies? He's made.
Is it a case of them letting him or him not wanting to?
No, because he wanted to do Bond. He was going to be doing the last Bond, and he spent a bunch of years doing that. And then it was like, we don't like your. You
didn't fit the Bond model.
Yeah, and he was like, well, this is what I'm doing. They're like, no. And then he wasted years on that, and that's why he did Yesterday, because he was like, Richard Curtis was like, hey, I need a director for this movie. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. But the script is fucking shite. Concept is amazing. Script, Ed Sheeran.
I want to see.
Ed Sheeran at one point, he's like, just a note on that. Hey Jude, and he's like, yes. And he's like, what about Hey Dude? It's like, fuck you, movie. I was like, also Ed Sheeran is quite a prominent character in the movie. I'm like,
yeah, I got no problem with that. I like it.
You know my feelings on that ginger bastard.
I don't actually. You don't like him?
No.
But, because of the Ipswich thing.
You know it.
Because he crashed Amarim's interview that one time.
That one time. His first Sky Sports interview.
Was it his first?
And it's like, they're like, oh,
do him a favour.
Great start to it. And then you kind of taper it off. What did you learn from your thing today? And it's like, hi, everybody. He's a fucking troll coming over. But anyway, movie.
Go on, okay, go on.
I'm very excited to see the second one that they've already made. And he says there's a third one. So it's a different director doing the second one. And then he's like, I'll do the third one if the first one is successful.
Okay.
Murphy,
has it been successful?
Well, it's not even released yet. So Cillian Murphy is not in the movie. despite what people are saying, he's the zombie.
He's the zombie.
It's not him. Apparently, he's in the second one.
Okay.
And I'm putting all my chips on like just people go see this movie. I want it to be a hit. I think it might be.
Yeah.
I think people love this kind of.
I think so, because you know what? Like there hasn't really been a movie. There hasn't been a zombie movie in what, forever. Has there
the
been?
last one? I don't know. Like, you know,
Like of any kind, or any just kind of like
Sinners,
big world, like horror, not horror, but more whatever.
big scale horror movie.
Yeah,
and like there's plenty of world building that's gone on in
and
this.
it's got the IP and all this sort of stuff, and it takes everyone. It's the nostalgia.
Quiet Place
Yeah,
is the last
yeah,
one.
yeah.
This has got Quiet Place vibes in that like there's vast stretches of like forest or nothing, and they have to be quiet.
Yeah,
because you might
they'll
hear
them,
yeah. So that's those movies have
They just don't make it.
inferior quality, I think, but they made a lot of money. You know,
What is inferior quality?
to the 28 Days franchise, even 28 Weeks Later. I'm a defender of that movie.
People shitting on that movie.
Well, it's kind of, you know, directed DVD, even though it was released.
Was it?
No, even though it was released.
But that was Danny Boyle as well, right?
No, he didn't direct it.
Oh, I love that as well.
He produced it. You would love it. Your favorite man in the world is in it. Jeremy Renner.
Oh. We'll talk about him on our Patreon.
Yes, you will. We're covering the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. You can tune in and listen for the low fee of €5 a month.
Yeah, in our movies from 2007 miniseries
Yeah.
that were nearly finished.
Yes,
but
the penultimate episode.
it's interesting with these sort of movies. It's like even you talking about like taking you back to that rave culture and stuff like that. Like because you know we often lament on the podcast that like things ain't as good as they used to be.
Things ain't good at all.
No, but
World War III anyway.
But you know what they don't seem to have anymore is a good old fashioned drop in a song. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless I'm not listening to the right song, but like when we were in our teens, 20s, whatever, you'd get that sort of like, you know, like one that comes on all the time is like, hey girl, hey boy, can't like a butter. It's you know, like just a good old fashioned like it's building and here's the drop. And I feel like you don't get those sort of. I mean,
maybe like LCD kind of do.
Do they do?
Like LCD, Dance Yourself Clean. That whole thing is like it's like and it's like, and it goes boom.
Yeah.
But lately, yeah, that's fucking 15 years old, if not longer. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, there was hints of that in this movie, juxtaposed against like a kid who like has never heard of the internet. You know what I mean? So I was a big fan.
What would you give it?
I gave it 4.5 on Letterboxd. Ooh. Probably my second favorite film of the year so far. Behind Sinners.
Excellent.
Behind Sinners. I would have it above Mission Impossible.
Did you like?
I'd have it above Mission Impossible. Definitely.
Did you like the fact that I didn't just go, no, I'm not interested when they offered me the tickets?
Yes.
That I actually went to.
And
you know what?
Keep doing it.
Hey, you're welcome.
I don't mind. Yeah, give me these tickets.
I'll get the next one.
Yeah. All right. F1.
Oh yeah.
Would you go see F1?
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
It's more. It depends on the time. You know, if it comes out before my third child is born, perhaps. Afterwards, no chance.
I'll give you an excuse to get out of the house when we go see the new PTA in the IMAX screen.
I will. Oh, is that the one with DiCaprio in it?
Yeah.
You fucker. He knows that everyone's pissed off with him.
Everybody loves him. There's
Leo
one guy, Andy Cantwell, but I know his weakness. I've been listening to his podcast. I know what it takes to snare that motherfucker.
Oh, well, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you liked it.
I had a great time.
And hey, speaking of things that used to be good and aren't quite good anymore, you sent me and Andy a Will Smith's latest song.
Oh,
Terry, I am actually, as the kids would say, low key obsessed with this song now.
And
but I was joking. I was joking at the start.
Is this a bit? Like, has the bit become real?
No. It isn't a good song. Right?
Okay,
I was joking. I was just trying to annoy you the first time.
Yeah.
But I have heard. So the song is. First of all, the song is called "I Like Pretty Girls."
It's called Pretty
Girls. I mean, like the song is there's an edge to the beat, right? You know, like boom. You know, you could see.
Is there an edge to it?
But I mean, like you could see a better, like you know, that beat could be in a good song. You know what I mean? But then you have Will Smith, 56-year-old Will Smith, on top of it saying, "I like pretty girls. I like pretty." Like, it's so Disney. Like, I like pretty girls. First of all, in 2025,
the lyrics are
ass.
Atrocious.
Yeah,
ass is the best way to describe
it. The lyrics are ass.
He's like, "Ain't no one in line for you. You know, you're too good for the line for two," or whatever. Like it's like you rhymed line with line.
By the way, rhyming line with line, beautiful.
Yeah, like lots of that. Like
there's a lot, and it's like, but you know what? I've heard it be said, and you sent me then. It's like, guys, it's just a tempo issue. Yeah. You turn it up to 1.25 speed, and I tell you what,
you can't do that on Spotify though, can you? You can only do it for podcasts. I tried doing it. For the actual song,
you can do it on YouTube, I guess. But I've tried it on 1.25 speed, and I've tried it on 0.75 speed because they said that also. Both versions are much better than
I like pretty girls. It fucking stinks.
It does stink, but it's just interesting that change. I've been playing. I've dropped clips so the people at home can hear, but
it's. For me, it's pathetic. It's really sad.
Do you know what it is? And I was saying to Kerry, I showed Kerry, and I was like, he's just scrambling. That's what I was saying to him. Like, he's just grasping.
It's like, okay, so my new thing is the video is going to be I'm in a therapist's office, an attractive female therapist.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, well, I've got a problem.
He's going to talk about the rage or something.
This is what it's been as long as I can remember. And then it like goes into his eyes, like, I like pretty girls, like cheap. Like white background.
All the videos look cheap now, though.
No, but like
that it did
for
look cheap.
him. Like he made Miami, you know, party in the city where the heat is on. He's on a fucking speedboat, jet skis.
Ain't no surprise in the club to see
Stallone in Miami.
I mean, he does have a tendency of ass lyrics. I'm not gonna lie.
That's way better than anything in this song.
Like I can't get over that line as well. It's like out of nowhere. It's like. Pop in, you might see Sylvester Stallone if you come to Miami. Miami Tourist Board, please give me the money now. Like, Sly Stallone.
It's it looks like it was like they spent 200 quid on the fucking, the set or whatever like that.
And he's 56. You know what I mean? It's so like, I don't even, like, it's the most basic message, like, I like pretty girl, and I still don't believe it.
No.
You know what I mean?
And
if rumors are to be believed.
Yeah, it's like, sorry? Like, are you know, the P. Diddy tapes, the Will Smith chapter are going to be released
By
or
all
something
accounts,
like that?
he don't swing that way, according to some eyewitness reports.
Doesn't like men or doesn't like women?
Doesn't like women. Well, I'm sure he likes women. He likes pretty girls.
Yeah, of course.
We've established that. But he likes pretty men too.
Yeah, I mean,
allegedly. Yeah. I'm basing this off one guy that I've never seen before.
Williams, like, he likes men. Let me tell you right now, Will Smith, all about that dick.
The stuff that Cat Williams is saying, he's like, he's talking about all the like. You know, people how he cut a deal in Hollywood. It's like Kevin Hart came to LA and like within a year had a show. It's like this is what they do. They give you a light skinned girl. They say, and Shannon Sharp's like, come on, man. You know, like, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, he's gone. Shannon Sharp is.
Is he?
Oh, you didn't. You know.
What did he do?
Apparently, it was like, I don't know if it was keeping her captive or something. He had like a young girlfriend. She's like suing him for like 400 million or something like that for like.
Oh, I think I did see something.
So
but he
that
came
Club
out.
Shay Shay is.
But
he's off TV. He's
really?
Like, it's like these. But it's also mad how now. Obviously, I'm not keeping track of everything that's going on in the US. But like people like him and Pat McAfee have like ridden the like Joe Rogan.
Like usually successful podcast goes mainstream sort of thing.
Like worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Like this.
It's where the attention is. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
That's
but
what it is.
He quickly became an empire to himself.
Yeah.
And now that empire is burnt to the ground. Pretty much. I think he's done.
Is he attesting? Is that the word? Protesting?
He kind of because videos and all like so.
Oh,
there was
since
clips.
His Instagram thing got leaked where he was riding someone.
I remember that.
And you just hear them moaning for like 8 minutes.
That might have been the girl.
And he's talking afterwards, and it's like it was totally consensual. You know, she's like
funny.
He's like totally consensual. It's like she might need to put a little ice on there, but that's okay. You know, and it's like how do you accidentally leak an 8-minute
Somebody
Instagram?
leaked it on him. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Like they're all crooks. But anyway,
I want to talk about another movie that I saw. Right, I have two more.
All right, okay.
I talked about probably my third favorite film I've seen this year.
Go on.
Friendship, starring my man Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd, and it's this dark comedy that is all about male friendship.
Yeah,
and the core of the movie is Tim Robinson is married to a wife. He has a wife and a teenage son. One day, a package gets delivered to his house that's not for him. It's for the new guy down the road. So he delivers the package, and it's Paul Rudd. And he thinks Paul Rudd is a cool guy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you should come on over or whatever. And they'd become friends. And Paul Rudd's a bit weird. He's a bit weird. And within this space together, they're friends.
Yeah.
And then when it gets, hey, come meet my friends, things get weird.
Right.
And then things get weirder.
Right.
And weirder. And weirder. And it's like, kind of gives you the vibes of Cable Guy.
Right.
But not so much in the way where it's like, because like, it'd be like if Jim Carrey's character was the main character in Cable Guy.
Yeah.
You're seeing that side of the relationship. And, and it's
so
all
the slightly more unhinged one is the main one.
Yeah. And like, you kind of were like, well, if you never met him, he actually would just be quite happy with his lot in life, his wife and his son.
Yeah. And
I just think Tim Robinson is possibly the funniest person out there today. Like literally, the first sentence is the wife had cancer. It's a start film. She's in like a but she's in like a cancer support group, and she's like, it just starts with her sharing, and like he's sitting next to her, and she's like, and I'm just afraid, it might come back or whatever, and he's like, it's not coming back. Saying the worst possible thing. He thinks he's being reassuring.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then, my ex-boyfriend, Devin. And like, he's sitting beside her and he just makes this face. When she says the word Devin, he just like screws up his face. Like, and like in the first minute, I think I was cackling like 3 or 4 times just from little things he does.
Yeah.
And it just goes on from there.
Is it more funny than it is dark or more dark?
Yeah, for me it was. I laughed a lot. I can't remember the time I laughed as much in watching a movie. And like, because
how long has it been since
you laughed watching a movie? I don't know. Like,
let alone, I mean, comedies are one thing, but good comedies are even rarer. You know
like this will not be for everyone. I will say that this is not
something be for me?
That Mary. I think it might be. I mean, there's a lot of bits in it where you're like,
I feel like I'd have to watch this without you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you'd be gauging my reaction on Tim Robinson, Like,
well, like Paul Rudd is pretty good as well. Like, he's
great.
There's certain things in it where it's like Conor O'Malley, the clip I sent you when they're in the garage.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "How does it feel?" And he's like, "Oh, what?" And he's like, to abandon your wife in the sewer. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Who the fuck? And the two of them just escalate. It goes
that's from that, is it?
Yeah, it just goes to like, she's a queen.
Yeah.
You should be lucky to be with her. He's like, who the fuck are you? Get out of my house. He's like, I would just love to be in non-consensual part or like a non-sexual, even a business partner too. He's like, you can't use my fucking toilet. Get out of my house. And then later on in that same thing, he's like, he's just outside having a smoke, and like for some reason Conor O'Malley, he's not even on shot. You just hear him like speaking about her. He's like, she's just a wonderful person. I love her. He's like, and also I just want to say, we never should have left Afghanistan. I think we should have stayed. And like, you just hear people like, yeah, clapping like,
it's fucking good.
And I was like, I was worried that it might be. I'd high hopes for it, and you know what? It nailed it. For me,
good.
It nailed it.
What would you give it out of 10?
I think I gave it 4.5 on Letterboxd as well. It's
man.
in that sweet spot between 8 and 10.
Yeah,
probably a 9. Multiplied by 2.
Do you know? I'd like to see that. I mean, that's a movie I'd be interested in seeing. And then I seen there's that. There was another all-out comedy a couple of years ago with Jennifer Lawrence in it. What was that called?
Oh,
Hard something.
It's not no strings attached. It's something like that.
No hard feelings.
Yeah. That's good.
I would say it is. She's fucking hilarious. I didn't realize.
And
how funny
you talk
she
about
was.
going balls out. Like there's a scene in it where she's completely naked in the ocean. She's like trying to get the young fella to come in.
Yeah, I think
the
I've
whole
seen the
thing
clip.
is like she has to deflower him to get paid by the.
Oh,
man and
okay.
she's getting paid to like deflower their son before he goes to college. And she's like 31,
Right.
and he's like 20, and she's pretending to be like 24. Or something like that.
Right.
She's like, come on into the ocean, we'll go swimming.
Yeah,
and
I
then
saw
like
that.
she leaves the clothes, and then like somebody it's like, what the fuck? Like she just like marches out completely like full frontal, like gets and like has like a
In
fight.
the movie?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck?
She's fucking game. Like
She is game.
and
Like
that was good. That was one where I was like, because people were talking about that Glenn Powell movie with Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, yeah.
That made a shit ton of money, and it was like the raunchy rom-com was back. But then a lot of people were, like, it made a lot of money, but people were like, this movie's weird, and it's just the magnetism that they had together was drawing people
you
to it.
could cut the sexual tension between them
Whereas
with
the
a
Jennifer
knife.
Lawrence movie was not nearly made as much money, but was way higher regarded.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that.
Even the trailer, like I seen it on Netflix there, but like
Is it on Netflix?
I think so, yeah.
I-
Because we saw her Hot Ones episode there, or again, or whatever. But like really funny. Like
she's
she's
funny.
like it's Kerry's favorite Hot Ones. She's like,
why is this happening?
yeah, like he's putting the extra hot sauce on, and she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, it doesn't even make sense. What do you mean? Or like, she just has the bomb. Like, I feel like I'm gonna die.
That'd be one to watch with Kerry. No, I think. I think it's really good.
We've said it a few times, so we'd like to watch that.
And it's like 100 minutes or something. Like
the ideal.
Take the plunge. All right, last
All
thing.
right, you
Quick.
got 3 minutes for this next movie.
Perfect.
So we can get into the
Watch the movie from 1977.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Directed by William Friedkin. Director of French Connection.
Freakazoid?
You know it.
No way.
All right. Starring Roy Scheider. The movie is called Sorcerer. Get this.
What is this? Okay, go on.
Not what you think. It's not what you think.
Okay.
It's about a bunch of people that end up in like, I want to say Nicaragua. It's like Central America, Latin America. They've basically been forced to leave wherever they were living.
Where did you dig this movie from?
I bought it like 3 years ago, and I had the house to
Is
myself.
it popular? Anyone?
People are like, "This is amazing." Here's how what you will know from. Remember in The Simpsons with Mr. Plow, and Homer is like going across the bridge, and it's like the real like synthy tech music, and he's like, "That's from Sorcerer." It's just a reference they plopped in there. And the reason I watched it on Sunday night, Father's Day, and it was Happy Father's Day to me.
Father's
I
Day.
had a bourbon, and I watched this movie, and let me tell you, Andy,
Yes?
it's because it's all about they've left there their lives, they've had to run, they're on the run essentially to go someplace where no one's going to find them, the middle of nowhere. They're living these existence, like they're working as fucking pipeline fitters or whatever, real menial work. One of them was Roy Scheider was a fucking great driver, and the whole thing is the plant that they're working on bursts into flames. There will be blood, like fucking massive explosion on location in Central America. I was like, this looks fucking incredible. And the whole thing is, to put out that fire, they need to bring like nitroglycerin to it to blow it up to put it out. But it's so unstable. They can't bring it in a helicopter. They have to drive it. So they have two trucks of like two teams of drivers, but it's like you can't go over any bumps or anything because the thing could explode. And they're driving on the worst fucking roads in the world in the biggest piece of shit trucks in the world. And I was like, the tension is easy.
Blow up any second.
It's like easy. Don't go over that. But like at certain points, like a bridge where it's like fucking lashings of rain. Is like one of them gets out and is like, you have to guide me. And he's like, come on. And it's just going over a bridge. But it's a real bridge, real rickety bridge. You're looking at a shot. It's like the bridge is going like fucking left to right, like a fucking pendulum. I'm like, they really did this.
Nice.
The water below is fucking going crazy. And I'm like, how many people died making this movie? Like, that's like, that's what I was thinking. That's what I couldn't stop thinking about. Like, they blew up half a forest probably making this movie. How many people died on set?
Yeah.
Real filmmaking, Andy. Like we
Proper
should
tits.
go back to that. No, but I was just like, man, I'd say half the people working on it went crazy. Like
one of
It was
those.
real. Like I can taste it, I can feel it, and I was like,
Visceral.
I loved it. 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Ooh.
And my bigger question was, Why don't we as a society
talk the podcast?
Talk
you must be joking.
Talk about Roy Scheider more as a movie star.
Well, I've been saying this for years. As
I know you have. I know you have. I've seen your posters.
I'm Scheider's biggest advocate. You know what I mean? But
he was the chief in Jaws, for God's sake, and we don't talk about him.
Guys, I mean. I'm sorry. I'm with you.
You don't know who I'm talking about.
That's for them. No, I don't know any of this. I'm just thinking of the Mr. Plow episode when you were talking there. Like, that was a great gag when Homer turned the radio
it wasn't even that bit. It's just another bit. It's like, it was Tangerine Dream, the guys who did the score for Thief, like 3 years earlier. Fucking, oh man. I was like...
Fist pumping
and like...
Nail biting.
Real faces. A bunch of faces in this movie, you know what I mean? Like... You know, grizzled, real guy, as opposed
proper guys,
and even like
not a bunch of A-listers.
Well, looking at Roy Scheider, A-list, you know, just for the record, French Connection, French Connection, Jaws, Sorcerer, all that jazz. But what I'll say is, I was looking at him as like, that's a real man. You know what I mean? Like he was
like I thought with James Caan for
lean, mean, muscle, and then I was like
unapologetic,
as opposed
unapologetic man,
as opposed to the 80s. Where you get the Stallones and the Schwarzeneggers, and I'm like, this is all
it's a bit manufactured
aesthetics. You know what I mean? Like Roy Scheider in this movie, his face is purple at one point.
I can see the appeal of the 70s movies, the men in 70s movies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I, as a man in the 21st century, will look back on stuff like that. Yeah. You know, where I'm like, I don't even think I could ever get to that. You know,
I'm probably the same age he was.
You know, like I'm too much. Yeah, like I'm too much kind of going around. Like, is that all right?
Yeah.
Is everyone? Is this all right? I'm too much ask for permission rather than forgiveness. Yeah, whereas men back then, they didn't even ask for forgiveness. And like, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know,
you're gonna like it.
And if you don't,
you're gonna
tough shit.
You're gonna sit there and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Sweet dreams, time machines, flying safely to the sun.
All right. Well, look, on that note,
let's get into it.
Brian Wilson. So what we decided was we are going to. Did we say Brian Wilson or Beach Boys?
I mean, I picked songs that he wrote or sang on.
Yes, same.
I didn't pick any Beach Boys songs that were...
I noticed you've got a Glenn Campbell in here.
I'll tell you now.
Excuse me?
I'll tell you now.
Well, that can't count.
Well, I certainly can count.
Brian Wilson wrote it.
Produced it, sang on it. Huh. So...
I thought, he's got to
Well, we'll start with that, okay? So right. My first pick... And I kind of chose ones that weren't singles as well.
Yeah, that was the criteria, really. Yeah. That we wanted to showcase that we really actually do know Brian Wilson.
Yeah. So the first one I had is called Guess I'm Dumb.
Guess I'm Dumb.
It's Glenn Campbell, but it's written by Brian Wilson. It was originally a Beach Boys. It's like off one of their instrumental recordings. You can find the Beach Boys version, which just the music that he said, but there's no lyrics.
Right.
And Glenn Campbell had played with the Beach Boys in Brian Wilson's absence, and they were like, "Oh, this guy's a great fit," or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he wrote it for him. He's like, "You should sing this." His voice is the backing vocals, Brian Wilson, and he wrote the song. And I thought it was great. Like I did a bit of a deep dive, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I've
heard it yet. I'm going to listen to it, obviously, in the edit. Yeah. I'll stick it in right now. But
well, that's why I sent it to you, so you could listen to it and then talk about it.
And you know, it came on, and I was like, "Oh, it must be your recommendeds or something based off this." So I was like,
"Why don't you I set up the playlist. You trust me." All right?
Yeah, but I had it on shuffle, so I was listening to mine anyway. So actually, it's a compliment, if anything. All right, I didn't just go with mine.
We are from two different worlds.
You had to listen.
I listen to mine in a row, and then I know yours are coming, so then I listen to yours in a row.
Yeah, but I have way more than you.
Yeah, so then it's easier for you to just listen to my ones.
Yeah, true.
I put like 6 on.
True. Okay. Guess I'm dumb. Okay, well that counts then.
That is what I would say about you. Wait, what? What do you mean? What do you say? All right. I thought it was great, and it was a nice one, a little different in there.
Oh, let me hear a little bit.
I mean, we can talk about how, like, how about that? Are you on the beach?
Oh, yeah.
It's the Wichita lineman himself.
Amazing.
Ba, ba.
All right.
Never. Anyway. Da, da. Yep.
My first pick, I'm going to go with the song I was talking to you about last week. Kind of... and actually, this is an album that actually you got me into. Sunflower.
Sunflower, yeah.
Which was like... Because I thought it was really interesting. Because like the Beach Boys have a really... They're really up and down, aren't they? Like
It's feast or famine.
Yeah.
Post... I want to say...
After 67... It's down for a bit.
Pet Sounds is 67, is it?
66.
66.
And then
So,
Smile is 67.
if you think of Smiley Smile, but if you think of their record sales, like,
oh man,
Pet Sounds is kind of like, well, we broke it, and then like Good Vibrations because it's a
massive hit.
But then after that they never
reached those
Kokomo in that 80s.
Yeah, that became like their biggest ever single or something.
It's like 15, 16 years of nothingness. Like,
but in betwixt that, there was Sunflower in 1970 and Surf's Up in 1971. And like with limited Brian Wilson involvement. Mm-hmm. But the one that I've gone for is from Sunflower, All I Want to Do, which I think just it's so dreamy. Yeah, you know what I mean? So here's a bit of it. All right, Jerry.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, that song. I remember when I got the double album, Sunflower Surf's Up.
That's how I heard it first, yeah.
And it was at a time where I was like, oh, like, okay, I'll experiment with my Beach Boys.
Yeah.
You know, I listened to Pet Sounds and had all the Surfing USA style stuff. Loved all that. And then I was like, well, what's this? And it was kind of like, I don't want to say darker, but it's different. You know, the vocals are different mostly, and
it's not the Beach Boys that you would expect. Do you know what I mean? At certain times, but like they've still got. The thing is, and I realized at a younger age that any band that harmonizes, I'm like, I'm in. Like any new band, if I hear a little harmony, I'm like, okay, I'm in. What else you got? You know. And
like they actually talk about the Beatles in the movie. Where it's like, did you hear the new harmonies? And it's like, we can do that. It's like, we can't be left behind by them, you know?
So funny, like the Beach Boys talking about like can't be left behind. Well, if that actually was the case.
Yeah, but like the idea of that. But just with All I Want to Do, there's a few tracks on that album that are, it just like the idea that it's called Sunflower just makes me think of like summer.
Yeah.
Or like, if I was to close my eyes, what color do I see? Gold or yellow or something like that. Like, and like I picked Deirdre off Sunflower. Again, it's not my favorite one off that, but it's my favorite Brian Wilson one. Probably like.
Was that a Brian one?
Yeah, it's a Brian one. He wrote it, and I think it's Carl and Brian.
Yeah,
and it.
What a
treat! Like
it's such a treat. And then when it gets to the good things are bad because it's all
like probably my favorite one off the album. Just if you haven't listened to Sunflower,
it's really like there's not that many there's maybe 2 or 3 songs that I'm not mad on, and everything else I think is quite good. They introduced Bruce Johnson, Tears in the Morning, all that sort of stuff, which is like
it's kind
really
of bluesy
good
at times as well, like, you know. But my favorite one is Disney Girls.
Oh yeah,
and like
there's Bruce.
Yeah, and it's just that's kind of dreamy for me as well, but because you know,
all the harmonies as well, like
But Deirdre, I don't know, it just, and I remember it was like the year before I went to Australia, and I started listening to it in the summer, and this is, you know, I've nothing else on. Literally, my life at this time is work, drink, hang out with my friends, and it was great.
They were the days,
and even in Australia, it was like, we were at the park one day, I had this on, lying down in the grass, listening to like Deirdre.
Like, well, this is the life.
Bum, bum, bum. I'm like, yeah, can I just stay this way forever? The answer was no.
And listener,
well, sir,
my next one, if you're asking, I'm gonna go for a song from Surf's Up. Let me just make sure Brian wrote it. Oh, fuck, you didn't. Okay, I can't use that one.
I can't use it.
I'm going to go with a song from Pet Sounds, Caroline, No.
Oh, Caroline, no.
Do you know, one of my favourite bits of the entire Pet Sounds album is like, it's like, First of all, obviously the music and the lyrics are great. It's like, break my heart, I wanna. I'm like, oh, just the way the music and the song. I've got goosebumps even just talking about it. I just love it. I like those little ones like Caroline No or Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. They're just so like moody, but like, oh, it's like nothing I've ever heard.
It's weird as well. I think something. Oh, I can't think of the name of it, but Abbey Road. She's so heavy. Yeah. Kind of. I don't know why.
Mood wise.
Yeah.
The songs are really different, but the mood.
I feel like they took something from Pet Sounds for like that.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. But I don't know. It's like I could have had 5 from Pet Sounds. I mean, I looked up.
I was trying to be true to because I'm trying to like. Oh no, that was a single. No, that was a single. Fuck.
But even like because we went to see Pet Sounds live.
Yeah.
We went to see Brian Wilson doing Pet Sounds live.
Yeah.
It's terribly sad.
Yeah, we were kind of looking at it. Me and you were at a few times. We're like, God.
Yeah. The band, you had like a 18-piece band
were
with
fantastic.
Al Jardine was there.
And I do like that band because your man, the main guitarist, was the one who really helped him get Smile back. Yeah. So I was like, okay, there is a bit of history even with this band in terms of like legacy and all that.
It's weird though, like
he was just kind of wheeled out.
Yeah, like it felt like
it was even more than 10 years ago, and I was like, wow, he still was performing only up to a couple of years ago. Like, doesn't even know where he is.
But like I felt when I was watching, like when they did Pet Sounds, it was great, and he only sang on maybe 3 or 4 of the songs for Pet Sounds. Like he sang on, he did God Only Knows, but he was like off tempo. Like I may not always love you as long as there are stars above you. Yeah, you're like, no, okay, but like,
and then there was periods where the band were just doing the songs and he's just sitting there, just staring straight ahead. And
it was great to hear that music.
It was great to see him, and it was great to hear it all.
It's kind of sad, and like it made me think of like watching the movie there, and it was like, oh, he's being bilked by Dr. Gene. Yeah. And it's like he got free of that, and then it was like at the end of his life, it was like, I feel like he's getting bilked again. Like,
bilked.
He's like, God, somebody's juicing him. We need to go on tour, Brian.
Money.
Yeah, we need money, Brian. Come on. Like, look, Al's just come back. We need money. We got to get Al some money. He's like, okay, guys.
Okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to make Mike mad.
Mike's not here.
He could be looking around in the corner.
That's him. I see him right there.
All right, what's next?
Okay, I'm going to go with Pet Sounds as well then. I'm going to go with I'm Waiting for the Day. And like... Let's fucking go. All right, let's just, the big fucking drums, and then like the keyboard, it's just, and even though like I kiss your lips when the face, it's just like the hammer, like and baby, don't you know? I love it. It's real like. If you're doing like first song on a playlist that's gonna G you up, this is it. Like, let's fucking go.
Fucking yes, Terry.
I mean, I like honestly, I could have put like Let's Go Away for a while on there. Like that is something. It's perfect. Chill out music. You know me and my instrumental.
You do like the old instrumental,
Like I love the like. Dun, dun, dun,
it's just, I mean, it is a masterpiece. And you know what I mean?
It's one that like I think back. I always would say. If somebody asks what albums should I listen to, I've never listened to, like, I want to hear a classic album that I've never heard before, and I'm like, have you? My first ones are like,
what would wow them?
I'm like, have you listened to, it used to always be Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and Pet Sounds were my 2. I'm like, what about those 2? Go try them
and then get back to me.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road has kind of receded.
It's probably lost a bit of its,
luster. I don't know, but like it's still incredible. But like Pet Sounds has only gone up in the years. For
Pet Sounds has never relented once.
You know I'd always say like Abbey Road and Dark Side of the Moon are like 2 of my favorites, and I feel like Pet Sounds is kind of like.
Where would you put if I could push you for Pet Sounds, Abbey Road?
I think
if Abbey Road is your favorite Beatles one.
Abbey Road is.
Abbey Road, Pet Sounds, or Dark Side.
I think Pet Sounds has wormed its way to the top now. I think Abbey Road is second and Dark Side is third. And I think those are like 3 perfect, complete albums.
Yeah.
Like Dark Side, there's very little fat on it.
No.
If anything, I would kind of say that might be 2, but it's just my affection for Abbey Road is the medley. And it was like when I heard the medley at the end, like the last 8 songs or whatever, I'm like, what is this? Like, no band has ever done this
before. It's a callback. That's what they said 2 or 3 songs ago.
And like that's why I love Smile as well, because there's all that stuff
all
in
integrated,
it, you know. So,
do you know, I have one. So, it's it's more of an honorable mention. But do you know what one is really? But I've been listening to a lot. I'm just going to throw this really quickly in there. Barnyard, right?
Listen, I contemplated putting it on,
but you know what? Like, it's only a minute long, and like on the surface, it's really silly, and it's just animals, you know. And but there's a hauntingness to it that like, and then even as they're kind of talking out in the, and there's stuff happening behind it. It's like a trip or something. Like it's really
it's very much a trip.
You know, I'm like, whoa.
I mean, the first time I listened to Smile was when I did Mushroom.
Yeah.
And I was like, my mind,
Terry, we're only on the second song.
I know. It's like, how long were we listening? Like 45 minutes. It's like the second song has just ended. Like no, Like,
all right, I'll be very quick.
Yeah,
my number 3, I think, is That's Not Me, also from Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
You know, I always really liked just that line. It's like, I once had a dream, so I packed up and split for the city. And then the little like. Bong.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to Pet Sounds out there, God, just do yourself a favor, guys. Like,
I'm sure they have.
Put headphones on, just lie back and like get in a bean bag or something.
Yeah.
If people still have bean bags out there,
sure they do.
And like, if you have,
get a couple of cinder blocks, put some wood across them, and get a picture of Einstein with his tongue out, and if you laugh,
it's just like a 90s dorm room. Okay, I have 2 left.
Samesies.
Vegetables.
Now I noticed you went with the Brian Wilson
Smile
Vegetables.
Always.
Oh, now I particularly like the Smile Sessions Vegetables.
I know you do. It's
because it's got that little drum beat as it's kind of going along.
The thing that for me gives it what I like is the fact that it is him in 2004 and his voice is not perfect. It's the imperfection that makes it for me.
Nice.
And I think it's because I listened to it first. When I go back and listen to it, I'm like, that sounds different. And I'm not sure.
Do you know,
because Smile is like, for me, it's like, this
is the OG.
He's broken though. Like at this point, he's broken and he's put himself back together.
It adds an extra vulnerability to the songs, and that's his whole MO. Is
I think I gotta watch the concert again.
The Smile one.
Yeah,
I would love to. It's so good. Yeah. I kind of had a different thing when I heard Smile first, the 2004 version, and then when they released the Smile Sessions in like 2011.
Didn't you have a T-shirt?
Yes. And I remember thinking like, oh my god, like this is 23-year-old Brian Wilson's voice, and there was a few things where I'm like, oh, that's even better, or oh, I love that even. Yeah, so, but you know, it's all subjective. Next, I will say my favorite song on Pet Sounds is
3 from Pet Sounds.
Yeah,
look at you.
I know.
I was being holding myself back. Like
I know
deep cuts, Andy, not the Pet Sounds
you see,
episode.
I'm doing a quick pivot because I had a bunch of Beach Boys songs, like non-single Beach Boys songs. Yeah, I didn't know what our criteria was going to be.
But like, were they written by Brian?
No, so you know what I mean. But it's what you called the playlist. I just wasn't made for these times.
He just wasn't made for these times.
Yes, but the song I just wasn't made for these times.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it is beautiful. It's sad. And we talked about it before, but just the simplicity of like sometimes I feel very sad, and it hits so hard.
And you're like, it's just beating you over the head with it. And it's like, sometimes I feel very like. There's a line in the movie where it's like, even the happy songs are sad. When, like Mike Love being a dick. Like,
of course.
And it's like, even the happy songs are sad. And it's like, but it's okay. Like, you know,
and it's the most like. Up until that point, like I know, like you know, like John Lennon had like Help, and there was a bunch of other introspective songs, but that was one where it's really like, oh, he is really flowering here, and he's kind of like, you could look at it as in like, oh, he thinks he's better than everyone.
It's not that,
but it's not that at all. He's just, his mind is exploding, and he's kind of,
even before he got into acid.
Yeah, you know,
his mind was like, he said, like, I was hearing voices in 1962.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like, and they do a great thing again. Not to keep, but like, when the dad shows up when they're in the recording studio and he puts the cans on,
Yeah.
the voices get really loud. They'd never been like that before, and it's like when the presence of the dad looms so large in his life. I think just because he used to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, are you on?
I've got. You know what? Did I do? I've only got. I said Deirdre. I'm waiting for the day. Vegetables. Guess I'm done. Okay, I've one, but I also have another one.
Okay,
so I have two. Speaking of his dad,
not quite how it works. But
speaking of that, there's a song called "Let 'Em Run Wild."
Oh yeah,
do you know it?
I have. I can't. I've heard it, but
it's
I don't.
from like Summer Days is the album.
In brackets and Summer Nights.
Yes, sir. And it is about it's kind of like a Burt Bacharach-y style.
I did. You had it on the playlist?
Yeah.
I did. I loved it.
Apparently it's about his dad. And he hates it. Brian Wilson has said, I sound like a little girl on it.
No
and
way.
I think it's...
He always sounds like
no, but
that.
I think it rips like, let it run wild.
Yeah. That was a good one. I like that.
Let it run. I'm like, I know. I just, when I was doing this deep dive, I was like, oh, like, I like this.
Yeah.
You know, all this kind of... They've loads of great articles there, like Rolling Stone have a bunch of stuff there that it's like, these are the best ones. Most of them are Pet Sounds, to be honest. Like the best deep cut ones.
Yeah.
That you won't have heard as a single. Like that.
Interesting.
And then I just had another one called Busy Doing Nothing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like it's all about like life.
Now, were you doing these as a top 5? Or were you just picking
just
5?
Picking 5, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't grading them, which is very unlike me because I'm normally like, well, we're going to do the countdown 5 to 1.
You're normally a top 5 someone.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, these are my 5 off.
Your
kilter.
5 picks.
Yeah. 6 now.
Okay.
But this one is just, I found it like really soothing, and it's all about doing fucking shite. Like, you know what I mean? It's all about the mundanity of life. And
is that a word?
Mundanity?
Yeah.
Mundanity?
No, I like it though.
Yeah. But it's on the album Friends.
Oh, we might just share our little playlist
we will.
here.
It's 1968 is but it was kind of like, I think after Wild Honey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which kind of had a song. It has a song called "Darling." I don't know if you listen to that one.
Keep going up, darling.
Good. It's fucking good. Go listen to the Beach Boys. And you know what I love? My kids know who the Beach Boys are.
Yeah.
Like I put on God Only Knows yesterday morning before I was leaving the house.
Yeah.
And my little girl Bonnie was like, "Is this the Beach Boys?" That I'm like, "Fucking yes, it is." Yes, and like Gus would be like, "Beach Boys." I'm like, "Yes, you got it, buddy."
Well, look, I'm gonna throw in my last pick.
Yeah.
It's got to be Surf's Up. My favorite.
That is a single.
What?
That is a single.
Is it?
That's why I have it on my thing,
No.
and I looked it up. It is like
They made that as a single.
yeah. And what's the other one? What's like I'm a ship till I die.
Till I Die.
The two they were like singles.
Surf's Up the B-side though.
I don't know.
Let's say it is.
Okay, yeah. We can talk about both.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite Brian Wilson song. I think it's one of the most beautiful things he's ever written.
Like,
and
I
the way
and
you know, like so you have like it's like two little songs together, but especially when it like halfway through where it's like Dove Nested Town from that bit on. Because then it's like, speaking of medleys, it's a callback at the end to Father of the Man, and then just his voice, the way it goes, you know. And you know what I love about it as well? First of all, I love the fact that it's like, I just love a song that has it like, you know, like, oh, look at that. And the fact that it's like, it's so melancholic, but he's still singing like, yes, but he's still singing like, Surf's Up, you know what I mean? Like harping back to
they didn't even surf, like
like harping back to those days.
And the surfers hated their music. They're like the real surfers hated the Beach Boys because they knew they weren't.
Yeah, I think just
surfers.
Dennis apparently was the surfer and everything else. But
he loves
like,
it.
Yeah, he loves it, doesn't he? But the fact that there's something haunting about the fact that like it's called Surf's Up, but it's so like, you know, poignant or sad or
like dissect the lyrics. At your peril, you know, like, you know. And
I remember Van Dyke Park saying that Mike Love had a particular issue with.
He hated him.
And he's like, what's columnated ruins domino mean? What does it mean? You know, and Van Dyke really got like, they clashed.
They do a bit of him in the movie, and he's like, I've been writing songs professionally since I was 13. Mike, I don't need this. And, all right, man.
All right, well, look, we better wrap it up there. Yeah. But folks, we'll share the playlist in some regard. And,
there's a lot of fun.
Hey, if you, well, you've already listened to the episode, but if you want to listen again, we now are back on YouTube.
Full time?
Full time.
Amazing.
So check us out there. Give us a sub. What's So Great About on YouTube. And you'll find links to everything we do in our Instagram bio, including a bunch of stuff, including the Patreon. That's really what I'm
the main thing.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Oh,
All
it's you.
well,
Sorry.
yeah.
I just
Well,
checked out.
okay. Well, we talked about it earlier on. Low, low fee of €5 a month and get you access to all our previous
Dropped you in it
miniseries. Yeah, we did. On the back catalogue, we've got What's So Great About the MCU, What's So Great About 90s action movie, What's So Great About Ryan Gosling. Did I convince Andy to be a fan of the Baby Goose? You'll have to listen to find out. And we also did What's So Great About Big Willy's Flops, aka Will Smith's Bad Movies. Some of our latest miniseries were What's So Great About the Movies of Tony Scott. A lot of Denzel on there, lots of fun.
God, he's good.
Some Gene Hackman as well. And then we did What's So Great About Heist Movies, and our current selection is What's So Great About the year 2007. It's
that's
a
right.
good time.
And as Terry said, you can find that for the low fee of €5. Now, Terry,
Yes?
if they can't do that,
Ooh.
they can do us one more better. Now, Terry, we picked more than 5 songs. We actually got 6 or 7 songs, but we don't want a 6 or 7 star rating. We want a 5-star review.
What is this shit? You stole my bit. That's my bit. I had a Danny Boyle one in the chamber. But yeah, give us a rating review. Really helps grow the podcast.
Joking me.
You would be fool. So yeah, it helps grow the podcast. Tell a friend, tag a friend,
Phone a friend.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Make a friend.
Yeah, help us with our social media. Thank you, that'd be great. I want to say a big thank you. Forgot to do it the last few weeks to Neil Murray Music.
Big Neil.
Get him there on Double P Music, or you get him on the Instagram at Neil Murray Music.
Recently released an epic song called Monkey Paw.
Ooh.
Check it out. It's excellent.
He's gigging around everywhere. If you follow him on the socials, you'll see where he's playing. A great musician and an even greater man. And with that, we'll bid you adieu. Till next week, will we do another music episode?
Something else?
What about...
Let's talk off mic, eh?
Okay.